Now, you've heard of wooden pens, you've heard of wooden mechanical pencils, but I would highly doubt it if you told me that you have seen any pen as unique and cool as this. This is what happens when a wooden pen and a heavy-duty metal pen combine together. It's called the Bonan pen series. Today I have brought two different types of this pen from my personal collection, so you might get to see more of this pen in future videos. If you have watched my pencil case video, you might have seen this pen once or twice, but before we get into what's different about this pen from others, let's take a quick look at Bonan's history. Bonan, let's say, doesn't have much of a history, and although they do not say anything about what they have been doing before making wooden pens, just like the ones you see on the screen, I would highly speculate that they were making wooden furniture or some types of, wooden crafts or other stuff when the wooden pen market began to explode, so they just hopped on the wave. Now, before 2024, these pens weren't really that available, but now they accept requests on any wood type the customer wants, and you can buy whatever you want because of the decreased demand. Now, just keep in mind that they do make these pens by hand, so if demand rises, they will be more difficult to obtain, so if you want them, better get them now than regret it, because, you never know when the demand's gonna rise. So, let's take a closer look at these pens. They both have a wooden shaft with black and gold metal parts for the tip and the knock parts. The main difference between the two, besides the obvious which is the wood, is the metal part. If you look really closely, you can see a difference within the finish, with one being more rough than the other. So the reason for this is because of different materials used to make the metal parts. The one with the smooth finish is made out of a lightweight aluminum, whereas the other is brass. You may not be able to tell the difference from far, but they sure do make a huge difference with how the pen feels when you write with it. We can easily take these metal parts off just by twisting these parts off each other. But be careful when twisting off the top part though, as the metal clip will damage the wood and dent it. So if you do not want that, please do not move the top part. However, if you really want to do it for repairs or something, place something between the clip and the shaft. Inside the shaft, there is a brass pipe so the wood doesn't get damaged when you screw the tip on. It also adds to the more heavy-duty feel that these pens have. If you're wondering, here's a list of specs of both of these pens. So far, we have looked at the metal parts of these pens, so let's look at the other difference between the two, which is wood. The one with the darker color is a wood called Burmese rosewood or Chinese quince. There are multiple names for this wood, but they all have the same orange to red color with a mild scent. Sometimes the wood can form a burl, which is when a tree's bud tissue fails to sprout and form a massive lump in a tree. These burls aren't really that common, but they are a lot more expensive than other woods. And they have a very interesting pattern, which somewhat looks like a flame and is very cool. I find it really interesting that nature can form all these interesting patterns and feels just like how basic yet mesmerizing the Japanese Zelkova is. This wood has a straight and very wood-like pattern with a very distinct smell of Japan. If you like the smell of Japanese rooms, you will definitely enjoy having this pen. And because the metal parts are switchable, you can customize how the pen feels depending on your preference. They both feel very different, with the rosewood having a much more smooth feel than the Zelkova, which has a more wood-like feel. Don't get me wrong though, as they both don't hurt and are amazing to hold, with the capability to absorb your sweat in your fingers, and the grip it provides is different from any other. And because of the different materials, they have very different writing experiences. So my first impressions were that I have never felt a pen that premium that has an amazing writing experience. The light Zelkova has a very light yet smooth writing experience, just like the Pilot S20, and I was surprised that a pen with such light material parts could produce sounds like this. For the heavy pen, it sacrifices the lightness for maximum feel when writing. I wouldn't really recommend this for people who want an everyday mechanical pencil because of how difficult it is to do everyday tasks such as writing a report or doing homework with this pen. I would honestly choose the 92525 or S20 instead, and both of these pens I have reviewed on the channel. Finally, let's write with this pen and see what it sounds like. I will be rating these pens on a scale of 1 to 5 on multiple categories so that you can get a good understanding of the pros and cons of this pen. The visibility when writing is alright, but not as good as the 4mm lead sleeves that other pens have. But it does have a bullet tip-like design, so it is not really terrible. I'll give it a 2, but it's my honest opinion. Design is one of the selling points for this pen. I really like the unique color combination of wood and black on gold, which gives me rich people vibes. For the uniqueness and color combination, I will have to give this a 4 star. Honestly, it could have been more interesting by adding logos rather than the generic clip and knock cap. The most important part of a pen, in my opinion, is the feel when writing. For the aluminum version, I like the light feeling, and its capability of being a daily pen that is usable in any scenario. And for the brass version, it is the best sounding pen that I have ever used, and if I could, I would probably use this pen every day, but it is just a little too heavy. So the ratings will be 4 stars for aluminum and 5 for brass in terms of sound, and 4 for aluminum and 2 for brass in terms of the lightness and writability. For durability, it can crack because it is wood, but if you take good care of it, it won't get damaged. So I will give this 3 stars. Alright, now that you have watched through the whole video, let me know how you felt about this pen, and how you feel about the price. I will recommend this pen to anyone ranging from a person who is just getting into wooden pens to someone who is willing to spend a ton of money to get a premium pen. Bodan has a physical store and an online store, so you could go to it if you want to. All the information will be in the description, and thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!